Hey, 16th of June, Rudy here. Welcome to the daily end of week Ninja show, where we go through ASX and US listed shares and ETFs. Usually cover all the major metals, and plus every episode gets a little special section, so you got to make sure you watch them all. I have some people that say, why don't you cover this? And I do cover it, but they obviously haven't watched that daily vid. So before we get into it, just a quick thank you to Mr. Ozman, who says there's so many frothy shit channels for the ASX. This is by far the best daily summary of the Aussie market. So thanks, mate. That's our goal. Those other frothy channels still have a lot more subscribers, but only started in March, so the aim is to get them. I agree with you too. It's part of the reason I started the channel. Alright, so starting off with the tank, MVR, the ETF with all our big miners in it. So he was off 0.5% today, but still a solid week. And I just wanted to set expectations that nothing can go up in a straight line. So this is the daily, 20 and the 50. So like at any time, like back here, I remember people panicking about I had to do a special relax intro music. So worst case is like 7-8%. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, because this can just keep going up and then retrace to. But you got to I'm just setting expectations. But you can see a pullback to the 20 day seems to be pretty, that's 4%. So just, keep that at the back of your head. All right, so that's the tank. Now the VAS, our share market. So it had a strong day. So that was led, the financials it was led by the financials basically. So they still long-term look weak. They've got the Iron Dome heading there. And that's because CBA was up 0.5%. So it's just hanging on to this support here there. CSL, another big one. So he's still got a bit of work to do. For those inclined to participate in the Wesfarmers type investor, he's looking pretty good if you're interested in that. Our tech sector was up 1%, but again, as in yesterday's video, the underlying stocks, some of them look ready to go and some of them were ready to go down. So you're probably just picking up the individual stocks. Okay, so America. So America's pretty dull really, and that's because it's this thing here, the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq basically has been driving the American share market, and it's not doing anything at all. And that's, so this is the MAG, so this is the Magnificent Seven, which obviously drives the Nasdaq. So when you look at that chart, it's a bit of a topping. I don't think it's going to crash, but yeah, I think they're spending so much money on AI, and where's the revenue going to come from? Okay, so I've done this ratio thing and people don't understand. So this is the S&P 500. Okay, so I'm going to compare it to the tank. So 4th of August, that's when he became the tank, and I'll show you why. So you can see the S&P 500. So why do you use ratios? Because charts usually go like from left to right up, except spec stocks and stuff. But they go up and down at faster and slower rates than other charts. So if you want to compare, like how one's performing, and this is a good way to compare stocks if you're deciding, you got two and you don't know which one to buy. So here's MVR since the 4th of August. That's when he got anointed. So what you do is you just take, say, the chart of MVR and divide it by the S&P, and there you can see that's when he officially started outperforming the S&P 500, was back here. So I couldn't promote the tank during here, because why would I? Because the S&P's been a better investment. But you can see since that date, so 20% the tank's outperformed the S&P 500, and that doesn't look like, because it happens. I mean, there's cycles, which is why I don't believe in, I'll say, diversification, because when you invest diversified, you end up with a return that looks, like that. If you can pick the cycles, then like, why invest in the S&P 500 when you can see resources are outperforming? Anyway, that's why I started the channel. Well, I started in March because gold and silver was outperforming the S&P 500, but I couldn't. Well, I was promoting them, but I couldn't promote them as a core holding because they're ninjas. All right, I hope that makes sense. So we'll have a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I'd say there's a lot of shorts, people that have sold thinking Bitcoin's going to crash. So they got buy stops here, and the big banks will be targeting them. So I think the bias is to the upside, because usually when people think it's crap, it goes up. It's like 6 months ago, everyone was saying silver's effed, and then look what happened. And the same thing with the US dollar. Everyone's saying the US dollar's fucked. Excuse my French. But that looks like a bottoming process. Like, if that was a stock chart, would you sell that or buy that? Well, hopefully you'd buy that. So while it is crap, it's like the old Rick Rule, he likes to buy oil because it's crap. It's sort of the same thing. And everyone in the media that's why I'm also nervous about silver, because everyone's in the media is so bullish about silver. That's not good. Same as everyone's bearish on the US dollar, which usually goes the opposite. So look at our Aussie dollar, US dollar. I still think, I love my wine drinker friend who says it's going to parity. I don't know. I don't know. But then again, he's bought Treasury wine, so he's an optimistic subscriber. Sorry, mate. Because then I say, okay, well, what about the Aussie dollar Thai baht? The Thai baht's been outperforming the Aussie dollar. It's not good for holidays. Anyway, sort of my view on currencies is they're all crap, but the US dollar is the cleanest of them all in the laundry basket. And remember, commodities and stuff are all based in US dollars. So if you want to buy something, commodities, you got to have US dollars to pay for them. All right, enough of that. But we'll keep an eye on that. Gold, so still chilling above support there. Aussie dollar gold the same. Our gold index, so just having a breather, and again, pullbacks, should not be out of the question. Like, it could happen. The miners, solid day, GDX. Newmont in ASX. So they're all priced for a gold price to keep going up. So GDXJ had a bit of a wobble, a nice recovery last night. Standouts, so Beacon continues his outperformance. KCN does. CYL, that was a good call reading. I was trying to find a gold stock that hadn't gone. Look at that. I wasn't on it. Northern Star, so it's hit resistance. Developers, how's so DTR and LNQ. I think I'm going to do a special gold vid on the weekend going through valuations. That's another thing what does the R and the P mean? So we'll go through that with copper. Just go to a weekly chart. Okay, so again, I've got those shooting stars, but again, pullbacks to here is not scary and would be healthy. So saying the wire ETF, so it's made a targeted move, and it's a long way. What's the daily? So again, like pullbacks to here should be like expected and healthy. So don't chase it. We got our local lads. So BHP. Wow, all-time highs. What's his? Yeah, so again, pullbacks could be expected. Rio. Oh, that's what they do daily. Got a gap there. That wish they hadn't made that merger or acquisition announcement. So DVP. Okay, so I'll do this little scoring. So I'll just do it for the copper producers. So what I do is I take the market cap of the stock and then divide it by, because we're just doing production, so like DVP is now ramping up to 22, but they got another 30 in another coming down in 2027. So their market cap to production score is 72, but when they get up and running and go, they're at 30. So obviously the lower this number, the cheaper they are to market cap. And the other thing you need to look at is like the cost. So they're all these big boys, so they're $1.80, okay? So 72 and 30. All right, now we've got Capstone. So they're at 54, similar, a bit cheaper, because they're 12 billion market cap, 220,000 tonnes. So DVP is technically cheaper. Then we've got Sandfire. So they're in a score of 64. So generally the bigger stocks get a bigger premium because we'll do the small producers. So just having a look at CopJ in America. Okay, so now we look at our small guys. So AR1, so they're on a score of 8. 8 now, but they're on a ramp up phase 2. So they'll be on a score of 2. So that's like, well, there you go, very cheap. But their ASIC is currently 9. And we'll look at the smaller, which is about double what the other small producers are doing. But that's because they've just started. So there's that's all the trade-off. So if we look at Hillgrove's next, so they're on a score of 13. So double more expensive, but ASIC of 4. So it becomes a bit of a balancing act. AMI, so they're on a score of 17. 29M, so they're on a score of 32. So they're like double Hillgrove. Then we've got AIS, so they're on a score of 35. And then A1M, they're on a score of 40. But a bit, Hillgrove's on 4. So it's just something to keep in mind. All right, hopefully that makes sense. A lot of lessons. Uranium. Spot price breaking up. URNM breaking up. URNJ over in America looking good. So our local boys. So Palladium, that's all right. That's a good candle to set up for next week. Boss, still not. Bannerman, don't like those candles, but if it breaks, then he's off. DYL, he looks a bit better. Got one of those indecision candles, so a break of there, I'll break that way. And good old Penn, he's stuck his head up, so we'll move that. So a bit of action in uranium. Rare earths. So REMX over in America. Linus, what's he doing on the daily? So he's just sitting there deciding, what do I do? Do I come back for a retest or go? So MP is probably giving guidance, so he's sitting there too. It's hard work, this rare earth space. How's China Northern rare earths? Well, they look a bit better, a bit smoother. Okay, Luca's hit resistance. So probably expect a pullback. We've got lithium. Okay, so the lithium price just keeps going up. LitP, they've got to have it like a. Okay, so PLS. All right, that's a first weekly candle with a really conclusive shooting star up and finished right there. So as you can see, it's never had one of those weekly candles. Although Gang Feng, nothing. He's Germany. Nothing stopping him, but he probably hasn't gone as vertical as Pilbara, so he still looks okay. IGO, Liontown, they all deserve a healthy correction, so I wouldn't be buying them right now. And then ELV. So I've also got these, I'll just do, so they're at 6 production score. Liontown 16. IGO. Where's his 20? Haven't done him. Oh, that's because he's got other stuff in him, and PLS is 14. Okay, oil. So it doesn't. So it looks like oil is going to finish the week with a bearish shooting star there. Party's over for now. Still not bearish though. So that'll flow. So Woodside, I think he's still held up, but at resistance. Santos, Beach, everyone would have got excited. I bet you those Beach boys would have been excited back then. Then if we look at fuel, so fuel's, it's just ugly candles, but it's still looking okay. I mean, if we look at the underlying, Exxon looks okay, Chevron. So it's just, the thing is, well, the oil price has been going down, but these guys don't follow it. So it's a bit hard to say that the rising oil price is going to push them up. I was going to have a look at the coal stocks today. Why don't you look at coal, Rudy? Thermal coal, nice bounce. Got the coal ETF over in America. So New Hope, nice div, 8.6. Yell. Actually, what's that? That line's not set up properly. That's probably more of a range. So it probably needs to, that's his sort of next level to break. Then we've got met coal on a rip. So SMR, he's on a rip. CRN, so he's on his way. Whitehaven, oh, that's very nice. He's in the tank too. And our Indonesian resource. Okay, then on to the girlfriend. Now she's doing very, very well. So this is the long-term, this is what I thought would be a temporary target. That's that move. Move from here to here. He'll have. That's the long term. 250. I don't know. Daily chart. So it's Mr. Slammy. Where is he? He came, but like that's just. I don't like all these YouTubers talking up silver, but a lot of them, funny, a lot of them, when it was at $50 down here, the people are saying it's going to $1 million now. I was saying it's going to crash. But anyway, that looks strong. But disappointing is the miners just haven't joined the party. And that's because everyone's going, when's it going to crash? When's it going to crash? Because you make the miners, their average cost is like, I don't know, you get, what's his name? Heckler is 12. The average is about $20 an ounce. So the longer they stay up here, I think it's going to be with the gold stocks. You just got to wait for them to report their earnings. So Silj, Set M, it's the one over in America. Zinc, looking fine. Lead, got some resistance across there. ATP mag just follows silver. If you're looking for some individual silver stock punts that aren't in Silj, there's this ASM. These are all silver producers. Vizsla, USAS, XMET over here. So it's doing fine. South 32. Oh my god, what a rocket. Okay, in terms of our producers, so Poly, it's just not getting into it. And again, you can see scores over here. But the R is basically market cap over resource. So the lower the number, I'm not going to go through each stock, but if you want to look, basically the lower the numbers, the better. So that's the R and the P. Anyway, so BHM looks a bit more healthier. MKR, well, he looks the best, but that's because the others are more zinc than MKR's pure silver. Then our developers, BML, SVL is a Ferrari, but you can't drive it. Just get out. BMC, so you can see down here he's still cheap. IVR. Then we've got our past producers that are drilling. So Andean, BKB, it looks a bit better than Andean. You also got to remember all these ones we're going through here, they're like 5 years away from ever getting to production, so it's hard to, yeah, it's just hard. I'm just saying that. So our boys with large scale resources, so Ardent, USL, SS1, then our pure drillers, ILT, MMA, AVM, that's looking quite attractive there. If they hit their resources, they're by far the cheapest. And RCM. Alright, so that's the daily wrap. As we got sitting on 25% likes on the videos, thank you. Big increase from 10 average. The Rooster's very happy. Alright, so